Hi everyone, Gianni Di Poce here with you for TheoTrade, and today is Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. Seeing stocks stage a pretty impressive rebound after the volatility of last week. Yesterday we saw technology and semiconductors come out swinging from the gates, and they led the market higher. Today we're seeing the Nasdaq and tech pause and digest their recent gains, but yesterday's leadership was definitely a step in the right direction. Last week we saw real estate as the best performer on the week, which is a major improvement from the 1 week leaders of the prior weeks, which included sectors like healthcare and utilities. Those were a bit more defensive. So although the Nasdaq is not at a new all-time high yet, we did see the semiconductor index hit a new all-time high yesterday, which is a very encouraging sign. I do want to see the NASDAQ lead into the end of the week to kind of give us a signal that bulls are back in control. It was a bit shaky there with the VIX being so elevated last week. Concerns ranging from trade issues with China again, regional banking issues, a whole laundry list of items. But we never really saw the market completely break down. And now today, you are seeing the Dow actually outperform and rally, making new all-time highs both in the futures and the cash market. This is a good sign. I would actually say it would be concerning if we didn't see semiconductors and tech doing so well yesterday, but I can look past that for now. But we want to be very clear. I do want to see tech reassert its leadership here. You are seeing communications show some signs of life. And, I think a lot of this has to do with interest rates coming back down. Keep in mind the Fed is going to be cutting rates 8 days from now, at least another 1/4% or 25 basis points. I guess if something goes really wrong between now and then, we could maybe look for a 0.5% cut. But that's not what I'm looking for right now. Looking for a 1/4% cut. I think this is why real estate did so well last week, really came back to life. But, I want to be clear. It's not just going to be real estate that's going to do well or tech. Both of those sectors tend to excel when interest rates are going down. But I'm also looking at consumer discretionary. And actually today in the TheoTrade live room, put out a trade on Amazon because I think the weight of the evidence suggests that we do have another bottoming formation complete here in Amazon. And I would be looking for it to join many of the other Magnificent Seven names, such as Apple, which just hit another new all-time high. We've been talking about that here. I'm looking for Amazon to join in on the action sooner rather than later. Okay, you've been seeing some strength in names like Google, which hit a new all-time high earlier this week, and even Meta, I think, is in the process of hammering out a bottom. Now, I'm still very bullish on semiconductors, tech, and NVIDIA, especially. I do think NVIDIA has an upside objective in the 230 zone. But, when it comes to tech, there's a lot of rotation out of some of those high-flying AI and quantum names. Some of those names taking it on the chin this week, names like RGTI seeing some really sharp pullbacks. But, I like to remind viewers that this is nothing outside of the ordinary in quantum computing names. I mean, we've seen this play out time and time again where these quantum stocks have impressive runs higher to the upside, whether it's IonQ or Rigetti, then they correct, 30 to 50%, complete higher lows, and the trends eventually continue to the upside. Now, do I think these companies are going to be the mainstays in quantum computing? No, not necessarily. I do think they'll either be acquired or go bankrupt. It doesn't really matter to me because we're in and out. We trade them based on the chart setups. But when you consider, the big players like IBM or even Amazon, with their Ocelot chip, pretty important to keep an eye on in that regard. I think those are going to be the big winners. But in the immediate term, tomorrow, I do have my attention focused entirely on Tesla. Now, Tesla is a name I own everywhere. Trinity Trade, $1 million challenge, different accounts that I have. This stock looks ready to rip. And, I was talking about rotations within the Magnificent Seven, pointing out how Apple finally broke out to a new all-time high, hadn't hit a new all-time high this year. In fact, this was Apple's first all-time high this year. It just registered yesterday. It's hitting another one today. But Tesla also falls into that category. Tesla has not hit a new all-time high since December of last year. We're coming into a very favorable period from a seasonal standpoint in stocks. We really just have to get to the end of October now, and we should see seasonal tailwinds come into effect. There's been a lot of money managers that have underperformed the market in 2025, setting up the next round of what I've been calling the Great Chase. We identified that environment coming out of the market low in April and went public with it in May, and we've been seeing that happen. And a lot of money managers continue to underperform. So if they're not keeping up with their benchmarks, the S&P 500, that's going to create some problems for them. And so I wouldn't be surprised if another mini mania of the sorts is going to come about in stocks. Elsewhere in the market, we are finally seeing gold and silver pull back sharply. In fact, this was a big theme that I highlighted in the TheoTrade quarterly forecast that we did about a month ago. I said, hey, look for precious metals to experience a sharp pullback, both gold and silver. And for all the talk of bubbles out there in this market, not a lot of people saying gold or silver are in a bubble. But when you look at these charts and you zoom out, I mean, silver from where it started this year almost doubled from the low of April. It pretty much doubled, just less than doubled, in a span of 6 months. Gold, up substantially from the start of the year. It started the year around 2650, and you went up, like almost $2,000 in gold, and no one's really calling that a bubble, even though the percentage rises in the shorter period of time were greater than stocks. There's all this fixation on stocks being in a bubble, when if you actually want to define a bubble, which is large percentage increases in short periods of time, I actually think that precious metals fit that bill a bit better. Now, I actually think that precious metals are setting up for an amazing buying opportunity at some point this quarter. Am I going out and buying this here today? No, absolutely not. But I am looking for the dust to settle. GDX miners down 9.5%, silver miners down 10.5%. A lot of people were chasing those names. Now, I think we're seeing a rotation out of metals into the Dow, but also into cryptocurrencies. In fact, I was discussing this with TheoTrade members last week, talking about the setup that was presenting itself in both Bitcoin and Ethereum for a bottom. And so far, so good. Friday, that low is holding. Ethereum is lagging a little bit, but I'm also keeping a close watch here on Solana, which has actually been outperforming to the upside. So I do like what's going on here in cryptocurrencies. I would keep a close eye on that, especially considering the fact that Ethereum has been dropping for basically 2 months. Ethereum formed its all-time high in the 22nd of August, and has been declining ever since. So I think we've had a major reset when it comes to cryptos. This is very exciting, and we'll see what shakes out from here on out. Take a look at the currency market. I do want to keep you in the loop on what's going on in Forex, because the dollar is starting to strengthen pretty notably against the Japanese yen. This raises the possibility that the carry trade is becoming a theme once again. And this means that you sell short the lower yielding currency, which is the Japanese yen. You buy the higher yielding currency, which is the dollar, and you invest that money. So historically, it's been a correlation, a positive correlation to tech to see the carry trade back on. The dollar is also strengthening against the euro. And if we see the dollar rally into year end, I'm not ruling that out entirely. It would be a tailwind for U.S. stocks. So I like what I'm seeing there. Interest rates, like I said, they're coming back down. This looks good. We're gonna get another rate cut next week. Crude oil, as long as crude oil prices remain subdued, I don't see inflation as an imminent threat. I think the bigger threat is in the job market and the trade uncertainty. But that's kind of the lay of the land right now. Again, I've had a lot of cash over the last couple of weeks, not just from getting stopped, but also booking gains. We had that big gain that we booked in BitDeer last week when it hit our target of 27. We took some chips off the table there. It's now going sideways, looking for another base to be built on this. This is another crypto related name. And so I have setups. I'm watching them. I'm waiting for them to trigger. And it looks like we're setting up for a very exciting end to 2025. So stay tuned, stay in the loop, stay focused. Don't be irresponsible with your trade sizes or anything like that, because there's so many good setups. I spent a lot of time this weekend reviewing my watch list, and I have a short list within my watch list of stocks that look like they're about to break out. In fact, I actually issued 2 new trade ideas today in the TheoTrade, including a back up the truck type trade on a stock that has held up really well during the volatility and actually looks to be in a stronger position now going forward. The last thing I want to comment on is that the Chinese market does seem to be a big player going into year end, so I'd keep a close watch on that. But aside from that, guys, it's a bull market. Buy the dips and don't get shaken out from the noise and the misleading headlines. So that's all for now, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in the TheoTrade chat room.